have yogis, we have chiropractors, and we have people in business, and a nice range of different professions here. I'm going to introduce myself one more time because about half the room came in after I started, so I'll make it really brief. I'm Dr. Gabrielle Polici. I have a PhD. I studied alternative healing therapies in my dissertation research. I'm certified as a massage therapist. I'm double certified in yoga and Kundalini and Jivamukti. I'm certified in an energy healing modality called Healing Touch. I've been trained in Reiki and mindfulness meditation, and I've been doing this work for 15 years. And I've taught at many universities, and what I noticed was whether you're coming out of a teacher training or a college or a massage therapy program, you often get a great skill set with regards to your craft, but then you hit the ground after school and you're like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. Like, how do I get a client? How do I teach a class? Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to do what I'm doing right now and come to a conference and sit on a stage and give a class. How do you do those things? So I have shifted my work to mentor other people who want to do any and all of those things. Public speaking, writing, teaching, coaching, open a wellness center, all of those things. That's my passion, and that's the kind of work that I'm doing right now. So the meditation we just did, it comes from the first chapter of my book. My book's called Blissful Business, and I'll have some handouts later that I can give you. It's a super easy 100-page book that takes you through all the fundamentals of starting your business. You can get it on Amazon for $10. Like, it's a great place to start, just so you have something, you know, in your arsenal that you can use to start to make sense of all the business aspects of what you need to do. What I'd love is if we have any brave souls who would be willing to share some or all of the things that came to you in the visualization. Go ahead.
I guess because I'm at this point, I'm very mission oriented. So what I saw, what I felt like within a year from now is just speaking in front of like over 500 people in a room in only 1 year. And then with my boyfriend right next to me, like planning our wedding, and it was like everything mixed up. I was speaking and suddenly I was like walking down the aisle. It was weird. A lot of like energy, but all positive. So it was a lot of joy and a lot of bright lights. And then 10 years from now, it was bigger rooms with more people and just traveling. I was in a plane going from place to place and then when it took us back a little bit, I was at an orphanage that I want to build in the Dominican Republic. So I just visualized it and it was with all the kids and just there. So it was a lot of positive and bright lights and energy.
Right. But using your success to fuel these projects
that would benefit exactly. Others. Yeah, there was a lot of success. So when I was getting like called in and getting deals, you know, and that's what took me to like be able to bring this orphanage to life.
Awesome. Okay, so these are two opposite ends of the spectrum, right? There's no right and there's no wrong, but she's talking to 500 people and she's in a really small space working with people, and that's what the landscape of health and wellness looks like. That's what you can do as a yogi, that's what you can do as a massage therapist or a chiropractor. You can have thousands of followers, or you can have these one-on-one intimate relationships in these spaces. Or like with your vision, it could be that you start to incorporate feng shui and creating different spaces on behalf of other people who are trying to build something, right? Really, the possibilities are endless. So I always, when I start working with someone or coaching someone, ask them to just, you know, dream big at first, like whatever that big vision is for you, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable or outside your comfort zone, just find what that big vision is, keep tapping into that, and then we can break it down into the little daily steps that you need to do to actually manifest that. So since we have some different scenarios, I want to break it down a little bit about how you would go about doing some of these things, right? So I'm speaking here, you want to speak in front of huge audiences. What would be the path to starting to speak and starting to get in front of people if that was something that you wanted to do? Well, I use a 3-step, what I call formula, whenever I'm trying to figure out something that I want to do, that I want to execute, that I want to manifest. So the first part is the investigation. The investigation piece is where you ask other people who are speaking how they got where they are. Maybe you find books or videos about it. Maybe you contact the organizer of an event, a big speaking event, and say, what are the speaker submission guidelines, how does someone choose, how do you choose who the speakers are going to be for your event. That's all the investigation part, where you're gathering data, and this is very scientific, right? So who is the science? Okay, so I use a scientific methodology whenever I'm planning my business. So the whole first part is this investigation, this research part, where you're gathering as much information as possible. Some people, believe it or not, will get stuck even at this phase because they're nervous about reaching out to someone and saying, how did you do that? How did you get on that stage in front of all those people? What was your path? What is your journey? What was your journey to get here? But so each phase of this, you might find yourself getting a little bit out of your comfort zone, but that's what you want to do so that you can get the information that you need to take your work to the next level. Okay, so that's the first part, is the investigate. Then the second part is the reflect part. Now the reflect part is, what do you have to offer that's unique, that's special, that's different? And specifically, what do you have to offer that solves a problem for somebody else? So if you're in this room today, because you saw Business of Yoga on the calendar and you thought, oh, I've been thinking about maybe starting a business, or I know that down the road I'm going to want to have my own space. I need this information. This is information that I need. So my offering and your need came together, and now we're in this room, right? So the reflect part is, what can I share with you? What can I offer you that meets a need for you, that solves a problem for you? Now we can do this, and it can be that you're a pregnancy massage therapist, right? And your niche is doing massage therapy, prenatal massage, and the women who are having back pain and edema and all this stuff from being pregnant, you're serving them and you're relieving those symptoms for them, and so your offering and their need matches up. So the need and the offering, that's where the sweet spot is. You could be, for example, really good at yoga for making big muscles, and nobody who's doing yoga wants big muscles, and nobody's going to come to your class, right? So it's not just what you love to share and what you're excited about sharing, it's where it aligns with a need or problem that someone else is trying to solve. So for the speaking example, right, if you're going to generate a big following and you're going to get a lot of people to come to your talks, what is it that you're talking about that a lot of people want to hear? Because a mass appeal is something that's very specific, right? It's not a niche like rehab or something, or maybe post-traumatic stress, or those are smaller categories. But if you want mass appeal, what is an issue that matters to a lot of people? Love, falling in love, having a successful relationship, maybe making more money. People will always turn up for a seminar to make more money, like a Tony Robbins kind of a thing, right? So what is it that's going to have mass appeal? But also, what is your unique presentation? What is your unique offering that makes them want to come to you, right? And then we get into a whole conversation about personal branding and other things. Okay, and then the third piece about this is the connect, right? First you did the investigation, you explored the venues, you explored the speakers, you explored the practitioners, you gathered information, you asked questions, even about details like how much are people charging, all that stuff. Then you did some reflection. Okay, what about me? What do I love to share? What am I passionate about? And then the connect. The connect is when those two come together. And if you find the right connect, people will show up, right? There have been times where I've offered something and there's been like 3 people in the room. And there's times where I've offered something and there's been 100 people in the room. The sweet spot is where you find that connection between what you have to offer and what people need. So does that make sense? And you repeat this as many times as you need to until your sweet spot gets bigger and bigger. So at first you might put out an offering and 2, 3, 4, 5 people want it, you tweak it a little bit, 10, 20, 30 people want it, you tweak it again, 50, 100, 150 people want it. It's a process of continually testing and getting more refined and more refined until you find exactly how to communicate what you're doing and how to connect that to people and what they need. So I'll just pause there for a second. Does anybody have any questions about that so far? Does that make sense? Yes? It's totally clear? Who can tell me how you might discover what is important to the person that you're trying to serve? What matters to your client? What matters to your students or your audience? Who can tell me some way that you might figure out what matters to them?
Connecting.
What do you mean by connecting?
Interrelations.
Having a relationship with them and talking. And what would you do in the talking? Like if you met me here at the conference, what kind of conversation would be valuable for you?
Trying to find out what are your likes and dislikes. Where are you? At what point are you in your life?
Great.
What are your needs?
Great. So asking me directly what some of my needs are in
Or
face-to-face
indirectly.
conversations. Okay, how would you do it indirectly?
We're having a conversation and picking up signs.
On things that I mention? Okay, nice. So observing and listening to the things that I share and then
Right.
thinking about what my needs might be. Okay.
Right.
Any other way that you might figure out what the needs are? Go
I
ahead.
think a lot of, well, what do I want? What do I need?
Reflecting on yourself and what do you need and what do you
I
wish
like.
was in the world that you could then go to?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I saw another hand pop up over here. Who else? Go ahead.
Observation, maybe.
Okay.
So just kind of going to these health centers and seeing what might be missing or what could be offered or what could be tweaked in the way that you think would be suiting to, I guess, give your passion to people.
Okay, so let's say you walked into a health center, and let's say it's a health center that offers a lot of different kinds of services. They maybe have some physical therapists, a nutritionist, body workers, things like that, right? And there's a clientele that's coming in and out of the door. Now let's say you're a practitioner, right? Like you're a massage therapist or a yogi. Now you go in there, and this is a scenario that's actually happening right now with someone that I coach. You go in there and you need to figure out what to offer that's gonna add value to that space. What are some of the ways that you would figure that out, do you think?
I would see what each individual aspect of that business offers and then see, and again, like what she was saying, reflect on myself to see what I have, what are my passions and things that I'm interested in, and then kind of magnetize or polarize those things.
Right. So
that
you
I
would
can-
do data analysis.
Right.
You would collect data. What is everybody else doing, right? You'd reflect on what you could offer that would complement what other people are doing. And then you would have to test it, right? They'd have to put it on the menu of services and see if anybody wants to sign up for it. What are other ways? No one's tapping into the internet here. Go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't going to the internet.
Okay, go ahead.
But I thought maybe through experience. So you meet someone, I want to have a baby. Well, I already had a baby and I practiced yoga while I did that. Or, my back hurts. Well, my back used to hurt too, but now I've been practicing yoga and you can get better too.
Okay.
By my personal experiences and sharing that through relatedness to another.
Right. Absolutely. So you know what their specific needs is when you are having that conversation because they say, I have back pain or I just had a baby. And then you're like, oh, okay. So this is something that will help them. So you know that they have a specific thing. There are ways, especially online, there are ways to find your people and to ask them what they need. So if you want to work with women, for example, that's the women that you want to work with, and you want to offer them something, you can go into groups on Facebook. You can put stuff anywhere on social media where you put out an offer. You say, I have a free gift. Here's a free audio that I made or a free presentation that I made for anybody that has back pain. And you see how many people download that, right? So you can go anywhere online and you can test your ideas for free to see if people want what you have. And a lot of times when I'm working with people, they throw a lot of stuff out there, but they don't do a lot of follow-up. So if people download things that you're putting out there, or they join a group, or they like your page, you need to engage with those people and have a conversation with people so you can refine what you're offering and make sure that it's something that's valuable to them. You'll also see if you put out multiple things at the same time, which one catches the most traction, right? You might put something out about back pain, and you might put something out about headaches, and you might put something out about anxiety, right? And you'll see that people aren't really responding to the back pain one, but the anxiety one is like blowing up. Like everyone is messaging about the anxiety one. So you'll find that when you put things out and you test them, you get feedback about what works and what doesn't. Does anybody have any other suggestions? Thoughts that come to mind? Go ahead.
You kind of observe how they interact with other people as well.
Right. So what kind of questions and interactions are people having with each other?
Yeah.
Right, so if you kind of hang out like a voyeur in some places online, you look on Twitter, what are people asking on Twitter? What are people Googling? Or you look in the forums, maybe if you have a slant towards medicine, you're looking in the medical forums, right? And you're watching and observing what kind of questions are people asking. If you offer something that solves a problem for them, then you know that it's a good match because people are asking that question and stuff in the forums. Anything else? Any other ideas? Okay, so now let's say you've come up with the perfect offering, right? You've come up with your yoga for back pain or your massage for pregnancy or whatever you've come up with, whatever that specific offering is that you've come up with. Where do you think you can find and collect people to take advantage of that offering? What do you think the different spaces are, the different places that you can find people to buy what you are offering? What does that mean, exposure?
No, Expo.
Oh, expos, like this place. Great, like this place, like an expo, like an event. An event is a great place where you can find people. Where else?
Gyms or spas.
Spas or gyms? Great. Another place where people are getting together. You already know that they are into healthy lifestyle and fitness and things like that, so it's a good match for you. Great. Where else? Go ahead.
I don't have it, but Instagram is really good.
Okay. Instagram is great. Social media is a good place to find your customers. Any place else?
Place of work.
Where you're working? So someplace that's related to what you're doing or not related to what you're doing?
No, places of work where you go every day, like people go to big companies.
Okay.
There is a lot of people.
Okay, so if you have a regular 9-to-5 job and you can promote what you're doing there. Great. So I'll tell you from my experience of having done this for a long time, the most valuable way to build your business is by creating a referral network. And a referral network means that you have relationships with family, with friends, with the lady who does your nails, the lady who does your hair, the massage therapist, the facialist, the physician, right? You're connected, you're interconnected to all these people in your community, lots and lots of people. The guy who fixes your car, right? This is your network. And by exploiting this network, you find people to come to your business. So a referral network, anyone can refer someone to you as long as they know what you have to offer. So you have a friend, she's a Pilates teacher, she has a Pilates studio, which I actually do have a best friend who has a Pilates studio, her name's Maria. If I tell Maria, these are the kind of clients I'm looking for. When I first start working with Maria, she had a lot of clients that had a lot of pain, and they were coming to Pilates, but they still had a lot of pain. So she and I had a conversation, and I said, well, I can do massage for the clients that are coming to Pilates. Next thing you know, I'm in there every day. They're doing Pilates and then they get a massage, and doing Pilates and then getting a massage, right? Because she's referring her clients to me. And then when I meet clients that they're coming for massage and they're coming from another source, but they need to work on their posture and things, then I can send them to Maria, and Maria can work with them in that way. So that's how referrals work, and it's the lifeblood of what you're building.
Word of mouth.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so many of the people that are going to come to you are going to come through how you know somebody, and then you tell them about me. It might not be the direct relationship you have, but the somebody that you know that would be a good match for what I'm doing. So this is the first way, and in my opinion, the strongest and best way that I've built all the things that I've built is by building that referral network. Now it has to be reciprocal, right? There has to be something in it for the other person. So with the example of Maria and I did a split on the revenue. So whatever revenue was coming in for the massage, I got some of the money and she got some of the money. So that was passive income for her. She didn't have to do any work, but she got the income, and then I got income in the client. So there has to be a reciprocal relationship there, right? You don't want to take so much and not give something in return. And there's a lot of ways that that can be reciprocal, and you can work out those different aspects of the relationship. Another way that you can find clients, someone mentioned the Expo, you can do events like this where you give a talk, and it doesn't have to be an expo with 10,000 people. It can be the local church, community center. It can be if there's a local health food store, if you can give a little talk at the local health food store. It can be any venue, anywhere, where where people are like-minded and they share an interest in the thing that you have to offer, and you can do a little presentation there for them. Can anybody else think of any places in your neighborhood, in your community, where you could just give a little talk, a lecture, a presentation? Go ahead.
Your churches,
Churches, absolutely.
religious venues are a great way
Absolutely.
to, attract. And when I first opened my office 25 years ago, I went to my local parish and I just did one talk on spinal health.
Right.
And let me tell you, they just
It was
all
like
started
flooded
to
in.
Come on in.
Right, there's like a line out the
And
door.
it doesn't have to be a big talk. It could be a question and answer.
Yes.
And just hang out and let them know that you're going to be there for them in that community, especially if you're thinking of going to a particular community.
Right.
And you want to become the pillar of that community for whatever service it is that you're trying to,
Absolutely.
that you're providing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience where I set up a chair massage. Like I saw one downstairs here. I set up a chair massage at a Whole Foods when I opened my wellness center. And every single person that got in the chair booked a massage. So then I was like, I had to turn people away. I had too many clients. Because if you're a therapist, this will be great for you. If you can get your hands on people for 5 minutes, it was almost guaranteed that you're going to get them to book an appointment with you, right? So any way that you can offer something of value, it can be small, it can be a conversation, it can be a 5-minute chair massage, anything that you can offer of value so they recognize your value and what they would get from working with you is a way to build that business. And the last one that I want to talk about is this idea of marketing and publicity. So marketing and publicity is very broad. It's everything from a billboard to a TV commercial to a post on Instagram. It's huge. It's very broad and it's a lot to manage, right? But if you do it in a way that's very strategic and very focused, you'll be able to get customers from it, right? So I asked someone yesterday that I'm working with, I said, what are you doing, on Instagram to build your business? And she said, I'm posting inspirational quotes. And I was like, okay, are you gonna write a book that's inspirational? And she's like, no, I'm helping people do, career transitions and personal branding and stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, what is the inspirational quote? Well, I like inspirational quotes. That's fantastic. But if you're gonna do any kind of marketing or social media, you have to make sure that whatever you're putting out there, that it's a very clear message that people understand what you have to offer, they understand how to get in touch with you, they understand the value of working with you. So if you look through my social media feed, I have different categories of things that I'll put out in my media and my marketing. Some of them are testimonials of people that have worked with me and are saying something nice. Some of them are blog posts, like I have a Huffington Post blog, so some of them are articles that I've published. Some of them are a direct link to my booking service that says anybody that clicks on this link gets a 30-minute free discovery session with me. Click now, set up your appointment. It's all very concise and very clear, and people understand what I do and what I offer. So no matter whether you're being interviewed on Oprah or you're putting something on Instagram, you got to be really clear about what you're putting out there, what you're sharing, and how that lets people know what you have to offer and the value of what you have to offer and the need and the problem that you're solving for them, like we talked about earlier. You have to keep those always in the forefront of your mind whenever you're putting something out there. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about that?
So with the social media, like for people like me who have a full-time job and I'm transitioning slowly but surely,
Right.
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So, what would be like the top 3? Because Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, newsletters, all this stuff is too much for organically growing. What do you recommend?
It's a lot. I mean, do you have a presence in any of these places right now? Do you have a Facebook page and Instagram? You do?
Yes.
Where's the place where you have the most people that are following you right now?
Facebook.
Facebook. Okay, so you have a Facebook page, and how many people are following you approximately?
3,500.
Okay. How many of those people do you know personally?
Maybe 600 or 700. No,
Okay.
maybe 600.
So those 3,500 people, imagine right now that you were sitting here and that there was 3,500 people listening to what you had to say. That's what you have right now on Facebook. What you haven't done yet is set up an individual consultation with all of those people and gotten them to buy whatever it is that you're offering, whatever coaching package or class or whatever it is that you're offering. But all of those people, those are all your customers. So you don't have to do anything right now except find a way to engage with those individuals and to get them, you know, to come to one of your workshops, to buy one of your products, to schedule a free consultation with you. Your people are right there. 3,500 people on a Facebook page is a big deal. That's a lot of people, but I suspect you don't have a relationship with them right now. So you need to find a way to create a relationship with those people. Just start there. If all of those people became your customers, you would have too many people, you wouldn't even know what to do with all those people. So you have to engage, you have to build relationships with those people that have already said, I like this girl, I like what she has to say. You have to connect with them.
And it's full of inspirational quotes.
Thank you so much for your time. It was awesome to be in the space with you.